sexual rape, animal sexual rape. There's no justification for rape.
Right.
Period. And people need to call them what they are. Oh, you want them child rapers. Don't call them pedophiles. Call them a child rapist. Oh, you're a child rapist. Oh, no, I just like them young. No, you're a child rapist.
Right.
Oh, I'm a zoophile. No, you're an animal raper. You like raping animals.
Right.
I don't want to hear anybody that ever talks to me. And I'm telling everybody now, don't ever call me and talk to me or email me and talk to me about pedophiles and zoophiles. If you can't call them what they are, rapists, I won't even respond. I'm not emailing you back. I'm telling you now, do not allow them to hide behind these pretty little, cute little words anymore. Call them what they are. Baby rapers. Animal rapers. So there's nothing cute about that. It don't sound good, and it don't feel good to be called that. Call them that.
Well, you see, they have a lot more cases coming out with teachers having sex with their students at school.
Yeah, they've been on that.
There's been a lot of that going on.
I'm on the phone, please. Well, you heard it. Was it you? Somebody had told me about, I'm thinking it was you. I'm getting you mixed up with somebody else. Might have been my homie in Boston or something. About one teacher, so-called white boy. I don't know what the ethnicity of his students were, but he was feeding his students his sperm. Oh,
yeah. I heard that. I saw that. Wow.
And niggas are crying because they're closing school. Please do. Hurry up and close the school. And no, don't talk about busting us out. You want to do something, bust your people in. So they might get some sense coming this way. Even though they might get jobs coming this way, they might get some sense coming this way. We get sick and infected going that way.
Right.
So no. We need to go back to the whole segregation of the schools, and I don't even know. I don't hate anybody, but my thing is we have too much to do. It's hard enough for us to find the monsters in our own midst. And I'm going to say, if you take about, and somebody thought I was being off on my numbers, but, you know, it is what it is. I think if you take 100 melanin-rich people, you will probably find 25 monsters in the bunch. I think if you take 100 melanin-deficient people, you will find 25 sane people in the bunch and 75 monsters in the bunch.
Wow.
One of my homegirls who lives out here in Phoenix was telling me about her neighbors and what's going on with her neighbors is making her so sick that she wants to move. She's like, you know, sis, I have new neighbors next door. Well, they're not new anymore, but, you know, they're relatively recent. Melanin-rich and melanin-deficient homosexual male couple. Okay, fine. And she was like, okay, well, you know, grown motherfuckers do, grown motherfuckers do. She'll trip on what grown-ups do. Then she noticed all of a sudden they had this young melanin-rich male living with them, some kind of teenager. And then she noticed that this teenager started bringing around young melanin-rich boys. And then she noticed they started bringing around young Mexican boys. And I guess it's just a matter of time before they start bringing around young so-called white boys. She's like, these motherfuckers are recruiting shit. I got to go.
Yeah.
And, you know, calling the police is almost going to do no good. First of all, I'm melanin-rich. Don't nobody give a damn what niggas got to say. I call the police on these fools, I might wind up the nigga in jail. And I said, well, that's because this is what they want. I have told my listeners they are after everybody's children. They have a hatred for creator and creator's creation and creator's creatures. And they are trying to destroy and assault creator. They are trying to destroy creator's creatures and creation to assault creator. When you rape creator's little ones, creator's babies, and creator's animals, that is an affront and an assault to the creator of all.
I got another call. I just wanted to call
all right,
in.
Sugar Pop, I love you, sweetie.
I'm gonna be listening. And,
Okay.
you know, you got my support forever.
Around there.
Peace and love, King. We have another caller, Dr. Yaffa, area code 213. I'm going to go ahead and move it in. 213, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Al.
Hi.
Hey, I'm the one that told you about the teacher. That was in Los Angeles.
Who is this I'm talking to?
This is Al.
Oh, hey. That's
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. I was the one that told you about that, and it was a teacher in a cracker in Los Angeles. The children were Hispanic, and he was feeding them his own semen.
Yeah. Oh.
But that was in Los Angeles.
Tell
he would do this.
them the form that he was putting it in. This is what he was doing in school, in the classroom.
One of the things that he was doing. One of the things that he was doing was he would blindfold the children and tell them it was a taste test.
Right.
And he would use these blue plastic spoons to feed them, and then he would also put them in cookies and give them and feed those to the children. Now, the school, their whole big thing was that it was going to cost them $9-point-something million to replace the whole teaching staff, because it was not just him. It was another guy. There was like a teacher's assistant or another teacher. Yeah, and what they would do is they would have these field trips that they would take these children out on, and they would coordinate them so that the field trips, the two teachers would go out together. But that was in Los Angeles. And like I said, most of the children had reported it at least like 2 years or so ago, but the children were mostly Hispanic, and they were some of them might have been like illegals, you know, people didn't want to report it.
And that don't make it okay. God damn it, they're still children.
Thank you.
I don't care whose children it is. I got a problem with people messing with children, period. Now, I got a lot of people, I know a lot of people do like, well, so what, they're white, I don't care. It's like, well, you sound like them when they get on the hoe. So what, they're niggers, who cares? I care, because it's a child. And when you damage a child, you create a problem. That child is going to grow up to be somebody's problem. Trust me on that. They're going to either wind up being a serial killer, a serial rapist, a serial self-cutter, an alcoholic, a drug addict, homosexual, cross-dressing, what do you call it, with the eating disorders, the eating and vomiting and the eating disorders, or what do you call it, just asexual, where they don't want to have sex with anybody. So either way, you're creating a problem.
You're right, because psychologically when you damage a child, and it doesn't really make any difference what age, you fracture that child's personality.
Exactly.
Mm.
And you end up with something like the 3 Faces of Eve, where you got multiple personalities in one child.
Yeah. Split personalities. People that are forever victims. You wind up with people that are masochistic, and they want you to hurt them, and they want you to beat them. Oh, pee on me, shit on me, beat me, huh? Or they're sadistic. That's how they get off. They get their hard, jolly rock on hurting people. And the more they can hurt them, the more they feel good about it. And, people feel like, oh, well, they're just niggas. Well, this is a nigga that can come back and bite you or your community in the ass. If it's just Mexicans, they can go up to bite you or your community in the ass. If you do it to so-called white folks thinking they're only going to do it to us, they can turn around and bite you and your community in the ass. Excuse my language. But it's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, a lot of these children become abusers of animals, rapists of animals, tearing wings off of butterflies and moths, setting animals on fire, cutting animals up. I mean, the Jeffrey Dahmers start somewhere.
Yeah. Mm.
And, from what I understand, he was horrendous toward animals as a children. Well, the question becomes, what happened to him as a child?
Right.
People are talking about that cat that was running around with the brother that was supposed to be the D.C. snipers. Nobody has to this day ever answered for me the question, who was this little brother with this grown-ass mouth? Who was this boy man. This was not his father, as far as I know. It wasn't his uncle, it wasn't his big brother. Who was this dude, and why was this boy with this man? He was clearly some kind of victim. Did they answer that question for anybody ever? Who was this little boy, and why was he with this non-blood related male? And what happened to him in his childhood? I'm talking about the young man. See, while Zimmerman was, while Zimmerman killed Trayvon Martin, talked about niggas always get away with everything. Bullshit, buddy. Niggas get away with nothing and next to nothing and zero of nothing. We got brothers in prison for things they did, things that they didn't do, and things they look like they might have done. We brothers sitting up in prison for doing nothing. We get away with nothing, nothing, and nothing, and more of nothing that we get away with. Not only did he get away with murdering a child, his own cousin, Zimmerman's own cousin, came on the witness stand as a young adult female and testified that her cousin Zimmerman started raping her when she was 6 years old and raped her over the next 10 years. Well, you got away with raping your own cousin. And now you got away with murdering a child. So now you have a murdering child rapist on the block, on the loose. And if you don't have a problem raping your own cousin, you don't have a problem raping somebody else's cousin, somebody else. And maybe you'll rape and murder. You rape one, murdered another. Maybe you'll rape and murder the next one. You see what I'm saying? Because people don't see what they ought to see, so busy being goddamn white. And if he raped his own cousin and he murdered somebody melanin rich, well, everybody's up for grabs, the way I see it. And Trayvon Martin had the right to trip on him. Hey, dude, he on the phone walking down the street, minding his own business. Somebody's following you. And I've seen this dude, like a freaky-looking, weird-looking dude.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude is following you, and you're probably walking fast, and, man, some dude follow me. And from what I understand, the boy tried to run, and, then at some point, what they say, stand your ground. Well, at some point, unarmed, he stood his ground. Yo, man, what's up? What do you want? Because for all Trayvon knew, this dude could have been following him to grab him and throw him in the back of a van. After all, 300,000 of us are coming up missing every year, and 100,000 of our children are coming up missing every year. And that's the United States. That ain't even niggas in the world. That's the United States. So Trayvon has the right to say, dude, what's your problem? What do you want? At some point, if you cannot evade a pursuer, you are going to have to stand your ground at some point. And what the system said is, well, it's okay to shoot niggas if they stand their ground. You can chase them, you can follow them, you can kill them, you can drag them behind trucks. And if they turn around and try to stand their ground and you blow them away, you're good to go with that too. Well, Zimmerman, the next victim might be somebody who looks like these people that exonerated him. After all, his own cousin didn't look like us when he was raping her at 6 years old. Now, nigga, you got away with some shit.
Right. Twice.
You understand what I'm saying? People got it all backward about who's doing what out here. Oh, there's so many niggas in prison. That's because our people get away with nothing. Okay?
Right.
People that look like these other people can be serial child rapers and out walking. Prison, they almost never see. Why? Because they want them out here to rape and damage and destroy more children. Remember, the word Catholic means to down the hole, to take the hole and bring it down. The Roman Catholic Church is all about holding everyone back and bringing everybody down to the lowest possible level. But they have everybody perpetrating on some, but we all white. And it's us against the niggas. It's like, yeah, okay, keep going with that. Keep singing that song until the shit bites you in your ass. Which it did when you decided we got to march because we're the 99% of it. We got to occupy Wall Street, really. And the song you're singing now, niggas been singing it since when? You don't listen when we talk because you're being white. But go ahead. What are you saying, sis? That's my sister. Can I tell them what your occupation was, or do you want me to leave that out?
I had dropped off.
I'll leave it out, because if I tell them what your occupation was, they don't know who you are, but they've heard me talk about you before on my show, on American Empire Restored. I've talked about you. And I call you by your occupational title. So
right.
if I say this sister right here used to be this, that, and the other, they know who.